All right. Welcome everyone to the June office meeting. For those of you who were at the was it called Swingers? Swingers event last night, the golf place, not anything weird swingers.
It's stingers.
Stingers, okay. That would make more sense, kind of. But you are swinging, but then when you call it that, it doesn't sound politically correct. So but anyways, it was super fun. So it was great to see you guys that came out, and the place was pretty cool because even if you don't like golf, like they had big, huge like tables kind of behind the screen set up. So the people that didn't want to golf, we were just hanging out, and the food was good. So they have good food, good drinks, good wine. So it was really fun. So maybe hopefully we'll do that again. So it was good to see you guys. Oh boy. Augie's helping out here. Sorry. The landscapers always come on Thursday and then he loses his mind. Um, okay. Happy Father's Day to all our Bliss dads out there. Hopefully you guys will have a fabulous weekend and be spoiled. I have to make French toast apparently, among other things. So and my sister's here, just not that you care, but she came from Singapore yesterday. She flew in, so I spent the evening with her, and she'll be coming over this weekend with her husband and the whole family. And I'm super excited because I haven't seen her in like a year and a half. So I'm really happy she's here. Um, and our June birthdays. Happy birthday to Anitra and Anthony and Brittany and Christopher, David, Diana. Happy birthday, because I know you're on here. Jay and June and Christy and Rada and Randy and Tina. Happy birthday, you guys. It's your birthday month, so I hope you're doing some fun stuff. Um, we have a new referral leads program. And Mara's going to tell you about it. And I'm going to mute myself so the dog's barking.
You're fine. Hey everyone. So we already have internet leads. We purchased them through Sync. But we've partnered with Walled Garden, and that should be releasing to the entire brokerage here any day. It was supposed to be May, but it got pushed out. And then through relationships, I've circled back and spoke with a company. The owner of Sweet Assist, Corey, actually introduced us to them. And they have a system, it's called like Sales Genie. So their job is to advertise, bring in the internet leads. They also call on expireds and FISBOs, canceleds. So originally they wanted X amount a month, fee for that. And then they had inside sales reps that called these leads. So he and I have decided to start a partnership. So it'll be a referral fee. They're going to take brand new agents and we will create a flat fee for that because, if you're in the coaching program, your split is the pie is only so big, right? So this company, they are going to go after internet leads. They're also going to go after FISBOs and expireds, canceleds. So if you're wanting to do it, and we will push the information out, you have to interview, right? You can't just sign up, say you're going to do it, and then in 30 days stop doing it. And they're also going to have trainings. So because at the end of the day, if we're all putting our money and time into it, they want to ensure that the leads are passing to you, you're going to close, right? So you have the opportunity, you can work one, you could work both. And I love that. So they've shifted from the ISAs into AI technology that will be talking to the leads at all times, text, email. And then when the client or lead is ready to have an appointment, then they are going to secure that appointment for the agent. This will be typically, right, the internet leads are buyers, but they're going to generate both buyers and listings. So, I was excited for this, because it's a win-win. They're already, working with a couple other brokerages and some big teams. So they want to partner with us and help us grow and help the agents become successful. So, what questions do you have? Anything? Anything? Bueller?
Do you know what the splits will be? Do we know that
I
yet?
do not yet. Mm-mm. Um, I mean, it's got to be worth everyone's time.
For sure.
I know Prime Street is a 35% referral fee, so it probably that, maybe a little more. They guarantee 5 to 10 solid leads, if not appointments a month for an agent.
That's great.
So why someone would not do that, I don't know. That's beyond me. But you know, you give it a shot in your business, but they are going to be, I've spoken to them and I'll help them select to the agents that they want to work with, and it's going to be all over the state. So,
And the nice part is that they are vetting these leads, like they're constantly doing touches, reaching out until they're more or less ready to rock, and then like talk to an agent and passing them on. Correct, Mara?
correct. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So they're doing a lot of that pre-work
Beforehand.
that sometimes takes 6 months, 8 months before a lead's like really ready to go, and they're doing
Correct.
it for you and then handing them off to you. So you're
Yeah.
not doing that piece of it.
Especially as the internet leads, the rules around that changes, right? You want to make sure that everything is copacetic. So, um, but they want to know that you're vested and you know what to do or say, and you know, so I think it's good.
Yeah. Sounds like a really good opportunity with
Yeah. Heck yeah.
actual
Especially if
benefits.
you're wanting, you know, like FISBOs, but you're not going to go door knock, or you don't want to just randomly call. Like, this is going to kind of take the pressure off a little bit. So just get your buyer presentations and your listing presentations up to par is what I suggest.
Yeah, that's awesome. And thank you, Mara. She is always looking out for you guys for the latest, like the best way to get the best leads and different things in for you guys and programs. And so she's always networking and finding amazing opportunities. So thank you so much, Mara, for
Yeah, I'm really pumped. There's going to be a lot of opportunity. They're doing this for other boutique independent brokerages is what we're called, because we're not franchises, right? So in with other brokerages in other states. So I also believe this is a great way to network, and for our agents to get referrals. So yeah. Any questions, you guys? You got nothing?
nothing.
You have the chat. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you do, just reach out.
Yeah.
Let us know. I did not make a slide for this, but before I forget, Courtney had put in the chat, she's doing a fantasy football league for you guys. So if you are interested in participating, you need to email her and Venmo $25 to her, and she's working on all that. So that should be fun.
We'll shoot an email out too that way, because not everyone's
Yeah,
on the Facebook group.
yeah. Perfect. I just want to give you guys an update on the Gilbert office. It just started this week. That door, the annex door, I think that's the door downstairs, like where our office is. They're going to have it unlocked on a trial period from 8:30 to 3:30 and see how it goes and if it's like successful. But for now, you won't have to go upstairs and have them let you in and all that good stuff. They're planning on giving that a whirl. And then they just want, ooh, sorry, my slide changed. And then they were saying for any, I didn't even realize this. So just so you're aware, any clients or guests you have, if you're meeting someone there, they're supposed to wait in the lobby for you, come and get them. And they can't wander the halls without you, and you're not supposed to get them the bathroom code. So I don't really know how that works if they have to go to the bathroom, but just a reminder on the rules for the Gilbert office. But that's exciting, a little easier maybe to get in. Doors will be unlocked for a set period of time, 8:30 to 3:30, and they'll see how it goes. So just kind of giving you that update. I just found out, so I wanted to share this for any of you who are PAR members. They offer you 8 free online CE classes through Desert Sage Seminars. So that covers your CE classes, unless you're like a broker and have to do the extra 9 or 10 hours or whatever it is. And I use Desert Sage. That's who I do my renewal hours through. I'm doing them right now, but I didn't know about it when I was doing it. I saw it later. So I just paid for all my classes just to find out 8 of them would have been free. So if you are a PAR member, that is included with your membership. And it's under, if you go to their website, the Education and Events tab, and it tells you how to access and get those free CE classes through Desert Sage. And I've used them for years. So they are a good
Usually you have to pay.
Yeah, I just paid for all mine because I didn't know. I found this after I turned in my ethics
Yeah.
certificate to them when I finished that class, and I just sent it over to the board. And then all of a sudden, like, it was in their like response of receiving it. And I was like, oh man, I just paid for all these classes. I didn't know. So if you're PAR members, free classes, and they're decent because this is who I use. I use Desert Sage Seminars to do mine. So I know that it's not terrible or anything because that's who I've been using for years. So exciting if you're a PAR member, free CE classes, get them all done online and you don't have to pay. So since I didn't know, I figure most of you didn't know that are PAR members, so I wanted to share. All right, we wanted to talk about like buyers assuming mortgages, and I'm totally having a brain fart, but on the like investors offer to purchase your properties like for buyers, but not
Sub 2.
Thank you. Yeah, and what that like that basically it triggers a due on sell clause. Like for most loans, they are not assumable. Sometimes they are, but most loans are not assumable. So what happens, like, you know, if you're your house, you're trying to sell it, you can't find a buyer, but the interest rate's good, you know, maybe you're getting investors coming at you, or maybe even the agent is like telling you, hey, do this to make it more attractive, have them assume it, blah, blah, blah. You know, it is legal, but most promissory notes are personal to that buyer, and they usually have a provision that prohibit a buyer from assuming the payments. If that happens, it triggers that due on sale clause. So like if you were to take one of those investor deals where they like buy your house, you sell it to them, they take over your title and everything, but not the loan, and then continue to make the payments. If that due on sale clause is called, they find out, you could be responsible just because you wouldn't even own the house anymore, and you're going to be responsible to pay that note in full for not you, but you know, your client. So just know that it's a really risky potential thing and you need to look into it. You need to talk to the lender, and typically it's not allowed. Some loans, yes, but a lot of times it's not allowed, and it's illegal. It's fraud not to tell the lender what you're doing. So we just wanted to discuss that. We see that come up quite a bit with, especially with those investors making offers to assume your loan. The other thing that's kind of interesting is I know that this happens to all of us at one point or another. If you've been doing this long enough that you get to closing and all of a sudden your buyer can't close and you're like, what is happening? Like you've been getting your LSUs, everything looks good. Then all of a sudden they can't close. And so your seller thinks, oh, yeah, like I'm going to get, you know, their earnest money. Well, not necessarily, because the buyer is supposed to, per the contract, provide you with 3 days prior to closing the ability to close. If they don't, you have to cure them. And you got to give them 3 days to fix that cure before they're actually in breach of contract. So if they either get their loan or they give you a loan denial letter because they can't get a loan, then they have cured that breach for not providing loan approval within 3 days prior to close of escrow. So you actually aren't entitled. Your seller is not entitled to that earnest money. If you go and cure them, you got to wait the 3 days. And during that 3-day time, they provide you with a loan denial letter, then they're not in breach of contract and seller does not get their earnest money. So we just want to discuss that. I know it's not clear. A lot of sellers think they're getting the money and they're not. You have to cure them first. They're not in breach till you cure them and give them 3 days. So if you ever have an inkling or you think there might be an issue with their obtaining their loan approval, you want to be on top of that and you want to probably cure them as soon as possible if they have not provided that to you 3 days prior to closing. However, most of the time, I mean, they're going to get that loan denial letter from the lender. So almost always the seller does not end up with that earnest money. And it really sucks to get all the way to closing and have the whole thing fall apart for everybody. So, anyway, my next one. Okay.
Did you go through like what they need to send in for cancellation?
No, I mean,
I would.
so as far as you mean like the buyer canceling if you're representing
Yeah.
the buyer? Okay.
Yeah.
So like if it's your buyer and
Mhm.
you get cured and or you don't get cured, either way, you need to
Right.
provide that notice the lender. I'm like I was up really late last night with my sister. Not the note, there's a lender notice disclosure form, and I can't think of the exact name of it right now. So you would provide like the loan denial letter, because you'll get that from the lender, and there's a notice disclosure of unable
Loan unfulfilled or something weird like
yeah,
that.
loan contingent
Financing unfulfilled, yeah.
notice. I can't
Does
think
an
of it.
addendum count? Can you also on an addendum do it, or does it have to be that new form?
I mean, you could do it on an addendum or even a notice disclosure, but I mean, I would use the form. Obviously, AAR made that form.
Yeah.
It's a reason for it, right? Like, you don't need to put any guesswork into it, right? The verbiage is already there for you, so just use the form. So you're not
Okay.
having to sit there and figure out how you should word it or whatever. I mean, obviously, like I said, there was a need or they wouldn't have created a form specific to that. And it already
Yeah.
has the verbiage for you.
So we bring this up because we've had agents going through this recently, like Lisa said. And the other thing is when you get that loan denial letter, that's what you submit to everybody. Guys, if your lender can't do that current loan and you've jumped to a new lender and they issue a loan denial, like I don't think the buyer can get a new loan with a new lender. So you have to be very careful. Why is that buyer's financing fall through? If you are going to bring in a new lender, like I would very clearly find out, do you have to get a new appraisal? What's going on with the closing date? Because you have to have serious conversations with that listing agent, right? What fell through on that buyer's financing? You know, right? So, it's not a decision you can make lightly, but you also have to protect that earnest money. So,
Mara, I had a recent experience with this that
yes,
you lived through with me.
yes.
And this was a couple that was not yet divorced. The divorce action was filed,
Uh,
but her ex-husband, her soon-to-be ex-husband, you know,
Hey,
kind of persuaded her to
thank
use
you. What happened?
a
Was it
family
like
friend who was a
crowded or?
lender,
There was a
yeah,
line.
who was also divorced. And looking at the situation, it was pretty clear that they were conspiring to put her in a situation where her loan was denied. I sat down with another lender that I work with, a lot, And he looked at all her paperwork and he goes, there's no reason why this was denied. So he took it up and he was able to close the loan in 5 days.
That's
But,
awesome.
the bad part
Yeah.
was the prior lender who just kind of let this drag out, never ordered the appraisal. I mean, that was the thing. That was the thing that really slowed us down. He never ordered the appraisal. We got a sterling LSU on day one. Yeah, this is going forward, absolutely no problem. And the very next day, he called my client out of state. She was out of state and told her that, the loan was going to fall through. He never called me. I didn't hear anything about it through the weekend. She was hiding from me.
You know what? It's hard when and
Oh
you got to
yeah.
respect everyone's choices of why. And so, you don't know the lender, you may not know the team. So you engage hard with that lender. And,
I
when you
did.
start, even at the beginning, like if there start to become red flags, I'm shooting emails and texts, and then I'll have a conversation with my client. I'm like, hey, I don't have a warm fuzzy, right? It's
Yeah.
okay. And it's your job to say, hey, we might need to look at, and I've even experienced it where, the lenders are on vacation or gone, or they've let the file lapse. And it's like, well, by this point, this is where we should be at. If you're not, shape up or get off the pot, right? So,
It took me a week of asking daily in writing
yeah.
to get the LSU out of him, and the
Well,
LSU was perfect.
and in this market right now, and I tread lightly on that because it depends on where you're at. Some houses are getting multiple offers, some are getting, some are waiting. So you can get a seller that's gonna, what's another 5 days, 10 days? Yeah, bring in another lender. I'd rather do that than go back on the market, right?
Yeah.
But the minute the market changes, guys, if those interest rates start dropping a little bit, people aren't going to do this for you. They're going to say, screw you, I got another offer. Or I'm going back on the market because I now can get a higher offer, or now I don't have to pay closing costs,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it is super important to know what's going on and to communicate as much as you can. And usually your gut's on point. So, but like Liz, like you guys, don't be afraid to reach out, like,
Yeah. I've had
I sent him a very sternly worded email, and you know how shy I am. Came this
yeah,
close to accusing him of colluding with the ex-husband because they were
yeah, yeah.
longtime friends. And I got back so many whiny emails from him going, oh no, I tried to do this, I tried to do that. I don't know why I didn't email you. It just slipped my mind. Oh, yeah. What a jerk.
Wow. Yeah, it's the minute you get hit with a cure notice, you have to know what are you doing? You're either closing or you're canceling. Because
I
earnest
didn't.
money is priority.
I lucked out. I found out about it. And then UWM, the lender,
Yeah,
slow rolled their, this was also suspicious, slow rolled their denial letter. It took them a week to get a denial letter out. And I think I talked to you then, and you said, yeah, no, don't tell him anything until you've got that letter in hand.
yeah,
So I ran out to my favorite lender and sat down with him with all the paperwork and just started working this. So by the time I had the denial letter in hand, I also had a letter from him saying he could
yeah,
approve this loan. He had the pre-qual, and he was willing to talk to the listing agent to tell him,
yeah.
what he was able to do and why. And that he was basically mystified by the inability to close the loan by the prior lender. But it wasn't good. I'll shut up now.
No, no, you're good. Anyone else have questions or concerns? The assumable is actually really important, guys. If you have someone that's wanting to sell a house and do an assumed mortgage, you've got to find out if it can be assumed and then what are the stipulations, right? If it's a VA loan going to be assumed, does it can only be assumed by a VA buyer, right? There's certain questions you've got to ask or protect yourself. So, um, that was I ran into that with a listing where there was a VA loan and they could only work with a VA buyer. My client was adamant. She's like, but it says, and I'm like, I have the email from the listing agent. So they double checked. So just have the sellers verify the data before you just slap something out there for that's assumable, or just be wary any offers that you guys get as listing agents too, double check that they're legit. You got proof of funds, they're legit companies and financial institutes. So yeah.
Yeah. And I've been involved in a few assumable loans, and I'll just tell you, they've never gone well. The lender has to approve them. Like you said, if it's VA, they got to be a VA buyer. The lender never approves the damn loan. Anytime I've ever been in, they drag it out for months trying to get approval from that lender for the buyer to assume it. And it's always been denied. I've never seen one go through. It's a freaking nightmare, and it ties everybody up. So I don't really know why they say it's assumable if they're going to make it darn near impossible.
Yeah, I don't know. Courtney probably knows more about it, but it's if you happen to get that, just do your due diligence. That's all.
Yeah, or just know if that's what your buyer wants to do, even this could go on for months. Because you
Yeah.
could get the lender approval and you may or may not get it, and it could take months. And they're sitting there and then they go through all of that, and 3 months later they still have no house and we're denied. So it's just weird. So um and since we're just kind of on loans, I mean, we've seen some seller carrybacks too, a lot of that going on, and there's a
Yeah.
lot that can be involved in that. And probably I would hazard a guess most of us don't know anything about the Dodd-Frank Act limits. It's just that doesn't come up a lot, but it actually does limit the interest rate that a seller can charge in a carryback. So you got to know this stuff if you're doing, seller carries.
Mm-hmm.
Like
This is this was interesting to me because I've had sellers with land that were willing to do a seller carryback depending on how much they were having to finance, how much, earnest and stuff. So this was good for me to learn was a max on the interest rate.
Yeah. And I've had that too, whereas like maybe I've had sellers who didn't really want to do a carryback, but they're like, well, we'll do it at this interest rate.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that because it's out of the where you're allowed to be, because you can't be any higher than a 12%. Like let's say they want 12%. Let's say they want to do 12% because the buyer's high risk. Can they? Can't they? Well, the Dodd-Frank Act limits them to prime plus 6.5% for a first position, and prime plus 8.5% if it was a second position. So you have to know what is, the prime rate to know what you can do. And then you can't go over 6.5% more on a first position. So, I mean, ultimately, any parties looking to do that maybe want to seek legal counsel. I don't know if their tax accountant can help. I'm not really sure they can help, but you may just want to really be sure. You may want your lawyer to look at it and just make sure you're following the rules and you're not breaking the Dodd-Frank Act, and that you're in compliance and that it's going to work for everyone. Because that'd be awful. You get through the whole thing, do the whole thing, and somehow the buyer finds out they got screwed, and then they come after you legally because you broke the rules. So, and then, like I said, it's not something that comes up a ton, but something to at least know. Like, I don't expect you to like have all the answers, because even I don't, but at least know it's there, it exists, and there's a rule. So you can make sure you're protecting yourself and your buyer. So, see, any other questions? Okay. We're doing our annual school supply drive. I had sent this out, I don't know, a week or two ago. It's going through, we're taking stuff through July 3rd. So you can drop off your donations, at the Harding firm, the church. They're looking for, just all school supplies, pencils, backpacks, folders. Sorry, the stupid landscapers are triggering him. yeah, so get your donations in if you're willing to participate, and we appreciate it. We do have a Mastering the Home Inspection Process class coming up Thursday, June 26th, 1 p.m. via Zoom. I forget now. This has been so long. Is this guy, he's an inspector and a general contractor, I think?
I believe it's the home inspector that he's worked with.
Okay.
So Eric, he's married to Ann. He's MD Builders, but they're actually in Tucson, and agents can send them over the Benzer and repair stuff. And so Eric is like a handyman type also. And so he wanted to bring in a home inspector of like, what are they finding? What's new? What's happening, right? So
Yeah, and then like they're gonna go over, like what's important on the inspection report,
yeah.
how to navigate the common deal killers, and how to like really explain to, because buyers and sellers don't always know. Like they freak out about something that's not a big deal, and maybe something that is a big deal, they're not freaking out about. And I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely hate the inspection period. It's like so tedious. I really despise the Benzer process. That's the old part of the whole thing I just hate. So I think having knowledge, especially, we have a lot of, newer agents, understanding the process, what's important, what to expect, what to know, how to help your clients navigate that. I think this will be a super helpful class. So I'm excited for this one too, because like we are having the inspector and a general contractor join us. So yeah. Book club, we're doing The Missing Half. It's a thriller book. I think we sent it out. So I love thriller books. I have not started it yet. It's actually sitting in the box, still sealed up from Amazon, but I have the book.
It's good. I think Carol already finished it. I'm like halfway through right now.
Well, I've been doing my real estate renewal hours, so there you have it. That's if I don't get this done in the next 12 days, nobody's gonna have a license. So
I made Shaylin uncomfortable. I was like, "Okay, girl, we're going deep." I like Frida, David Baldacci, James Patterson, like, who did it? So
yes,
this is a who didn't, who done it.
I love those kind of books. I have a really good one about a realtor that was taken at an open house if y'all want to do that.
Probably not. I don't need to give a lot of the hypochondriacs more ammo.
Oh, it wasn't a real book though. Miranda said, "Oh, scary." I'm like, well,
Scary, yeah.
it was not real. It didn't happen, but it was a good thriller. Um, anyway, we have our next happy hour is going to be in August in Tucson. We have
Yeah.
the Tucson agents, guys.
We have
So,
like 9 or 10, I think, right now.
yeah, at least. We have quite a presence in Tucson, so we want to show our Tucson agents some love.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Brenna's all excited.
So if you guys like, we're telling you now so you can plan for it. If you can make it down, we can,
I can drive a group down too. So
yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. Road trip. So next office
Scott will e-bike. Sorry.
e-bike all the way there.
Yeah. He's not on here, so I was like, I'm gonna say it.
Oh man. Next office meeting won't be till August, so we don't do one typically in July, not in July or December, because everyone's like gone on vacation, doing all those last minute trips and things before school starts back up for the kiddos. So we kind of just give you guys July to do what you need to do. So the next meeting is not till August 14th at 1 p.m. So just note that so you're not jumping on on a Zoom that's not happening next month. And that leads us to June agent awards. So let's go. Our agent of the month is sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Agent of the month is why can I not say her name?
Angelica.
Thank you, Angelica. I am so tired, guys. Like my brain is not forming it's not like it's not working. Oh, she's our agent of the month. She just had like her first listing, her first closing. She's doing really well. She just joined us and we just wanted to celebrate everything she's already doing and where it's going. So
She's in Tucson.
yeah, that's right. Our Tucson agents are killing it. Our President's Award goes to Matt Pridgeon.
Aw.
He's also recently joined us. He's in the coaching program with Melissa. He's really putting himself out there. He is an absolute team player, helping with everything, working on his business. And we just wanted to recognize him for going the extra mile with his fellow agents and with his business and helping everyone. Rising Star Award goes to Tina Liu. She just came on with us as well. And I mean, she's working with like 5 or 6 buyers already.
Yeah.
She's extremely busy, working on a potential commercial lease as well, besides residential. She is super busy. So
I would just say, guys, there's buyers out there. Just this is why social media is important because you can touch Canada, international, all over the US. They don't have to be in Arizona, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen an uptick in transactions. Buyers are definitely buying. I think they're at a point where they're like, yeah, it's not coming down, or if it does, then I'm going to be priced out, whatever it is. They're finally, I think, just going, we're not going to see 2% again. Let's just, marry the house, date the rate, and jump in. I think they're tired of waiting because I am seeing an uptick in buyers, guys. They are out there.
They definitely are. I'm seeing them too. Mara, that service, that lead service you referenced, is that the one you discussed at the beginning of the meeting? That has
They're two separate companies because I still wanted people to go in and run like open house ads or just listed ads if you wanted to. You can still do that. But this company we're partnering with, then you would sign up. They're going to be listed. The leads should come through sync. If not, we may change platforms because at this point it's, getting those leads, the AI, the notes, tracking, it's super important and it should be part of the business. So yeah.
Our Market Resilience Award goes to Priscilla. Priscilla has also fairly recently joined us. She came from a team, so she's a solo agent. Her business had pretty much dried up, and now she's like just had her first closing. She's working like with 3 other buyers. It's like really taken off, and so we just wanted to celebrate her first closing, and her building her business back up and where she's headed. So congrats to Priscilla. Social Media Savvy Award goes to Katarina. She is killing it with social media, her videos. She's even working on a commercial transaction as well. So just congratulations, and it's all paying off and we're excited for you. Closing Excellence Award goes to Tammy Chapman. Tammy's been with us for quite a while, but I've seen an uptick and she's definitely busy. She is really closing deals right now, and her business has also really taken off and gotten busier, and just want to recognize her and all her closings and her efforts. So congrats. And Client Satisfaction Star goes to Liz, because again, Liz, we're seeing you all over the place. Like you're working really hard and your business is building back up again too. And we just want to recognize you and all your efforts. So, and that's it. That's all I got, guys.
Well, I should say you can see Liz is slowly getting on social media. The agents that are on social media, guys, they can tell by their business. I'm just telling you. And it may not happen overnight. It's not the people liking and commenting. People need to see you out there. They need to get to know you, right? So the more you're out, and it's scary, start changing it up, making video, walking through, say hi in your car, right? Just start doing, and I think you'll get more comfortable and you're gonna see more leads and referrals coming in. And I gotta tell you, if you're working with the lead companies and you have leads coming in, where do you think these leads are gonna go? They're gonna look you up. The first place they go is on the internet, social media, Google, right? Don't be a secret agent. Honestly, don't. Liz is saying goodbye. Congrats,
Okay.
everyone.
Does anyone have any questions or anything for us before we go?
Oh yeah, we'll email out about the football thing because
Yeah,
that's good.
definitely.
I don't even know how to do a football pool thing,
Me either.
a square.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us today and bearing with me as I bumbled through this because my brain mouth coordination's not working today. So have a great weekend. Enjoy your Father's Day, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.